NationalGuitarRepair.com. I'm Marc Schoenberger. Today I'd like to talk about Duolians. Duolians were introduced in 1931, mainly as a response to the economic conditions. After all, it was the Great Depression. And if we look at the price points that National had, you had the Tricone at $125, Stylo was $62.50, and the least expensive guitar that they made was the Duolian at $42. So they realized that they had to do something, they had to come up with a less expensive instrument, and they had to knock about 10 or 12 bucks off the cost of manufacturing this guitar. There was another dynamic going on in 1931, and that was for the first time National had competition from their one-time partners and now crosstown rivals, Dobro. Now Dobro came out with the Model 27, which retailed for $27.50, I think. And that was really what they were battling against. They didn't want to lose market share to their competition. And the changes that were involved in making this a less expensive instrument is why I like to call the Duolian National's Great Experiment. I'd like to take a look at some of the changes that they made in 1931 that made the Duolian the Great Experiment. They first came out with stamped phenolic fingerboards that failed horribly within their first year. They also went through a couple of different configurations of truss rods and a couple of different industrial finishes. And today I'd like to look at some of the changes that made our special guest today so special. Today's featured guitar is a 1933 Duolian with the rolled F-holes. Now, ever since I've been collecting guitars, the 33 rolled F-hole has a certain special cachet to it. So everyone sort of noticed that there's a difference, a distinct difference between the earlier versions of the Duolian and this one. This is the more elegantly designed rolled F-hole. One of the popular theories is that these rolled F-holes stiffen the top. Well, that's true, but what most people don't realize is that all Duolian tops are stiff. And the reason because the Duolians had these little braces underneath that they would put the sheet metal screws in, and this speeded up production. So really all the Duolians have a stiff top. And the real key to this one is what's inside. Now when I say that the secret is on the inside, it's deep inside. It's actually the composition of the metal. The softer Duolian metal allowed for the stamping of the rolled F-holes. And that was really key. That was one of the reasons why they dropped the heavier steel and went to this. This softer steel, when it's stamped, has a distinct little bump right here. To find this hump, you just rub your finger across this section right here. This is exactly where that hump is. And it's kind of neat. You'll go, wow, that's a Duolian hump. Now the interesting thing about Duolians is that, in their effort to make it cheaper, they would often grab bodies off the shelves, be it, if it's a Duolian body, we'll just paint it a Duco finish, put a mahogany neck on it, call it a day. And if you really want to find out whether or not you've got a real Duolian or a Duolian, just feel for that hump. And it's a cool little secret that I'm really happy to share with you. Now when they stamped the earlier, harder steel Duolians, it had more fine styrations like straw. You could just barely feel it. But the Duolian metal had a distinct bump to it. And it was this softer material combined with the 1932 rolled edge cone that really made this guitar stand out, so people noticed.